eSmart Health is positioned within an industry that has incredible prospects for growth. However, this is not an opportunity you take lightly. You've been very clear in your positioning to provide medical-grade equipment and integrate health professionals every step of the way. My name is Madeline, and I'm joined by the Central 3 consulting team, Nathan, Geordie, and Joel. And we're very excited to present our strategy, Care to Scale, which will capitalise on the needs of the health sector to deliver growth and scalability across the entire public and private health industry in Hong Kong, while remaining true to your core concept of delivering medical-grade, cloud-based solutions. Our strategy has 3 key pillars. The first is to innovate and enhance your product offering to deliver scalability and an effective solution to the wider issues faced by doctors and hospitals in Hong Kong. Next, we're going to take this model and drive growth of sales through strategic business-to-business partnerships. And finally, we're going to transform your business's strategic vision into the future. I'll take you through these 3 key pillars now in some more detail. And with our innovation pillar, we first identified some key challenges for your business moving forward. Nursing homes, by far your largest market sector, is not alone going to deliver the return on investment you need. This means you need to look beyond into the broader health industry with a scalable solution to reach financial viability. Our solution is to integrate data analytics and telemedicine capabilities to add a tech-driven solution that extends beyond the cloud. For consumers, this means they will receive real-time, data-driven insights into their health and can schedule virtual appointments with medical professionals through the ease of their own webcam, anywhere, anytime. And this is going to create a connected care solution to ease the strains on the public and private health sector, such as the over-bloated waiting rooms. It will also add an incentive of value added for the doctors with time and cost efficiencies. Now we want to take this model and drive its uptake by doctors and patients. And we're going to do this with a business-to-business growth strategy, offering employers a disease management and preventative healthcare solution to combat the 26% of Hong Kong's working age population that has a chronic health condition. And this is costing the business sector millions each year in health insurance. Now, what's going to happen from here is that our partnered employers will push eSmart Health into chosen private clinics. And once doctors realise the incredible potential of this technology, it will stimulate organic growth throughout the private sector. Now, we're also promising our employer partners a 380% return on investment. And it's also giving them the ability to offer their employees a seamless healthcare solution so that when they're away on business trips, they can virtually come and get care from their regular GP. For you, eSmart Health, this means you'll reach and exceed your 20% return on investment goal, and it will also stimulate $169 million in value by 2020. Now, this is also laying the foundation to drive legitimacy of eSmart Health and gain support from within medical professionals such as doctors. And this will be done in the hope of rolling this out more broadly to the public health sector. Finally, looking towards the future, an ultralight, wearable, medical-grade technology is set to boom. So eSmart Health, we suggest you extend your targeting beyond aged and chronically ill patients towards everyday e-health. And this is going to safeguard your business into the future. We'll now take you through the alternate strategies that we considered and ruled out before we arrived at our solution.
So in order to find the best strategy for your company to move into, we undertook an analysis of 5 key strategies, undertaking the core competencies and making sure that it will deliver a relatively quick return on investment, and in addition to making sure that you look towards the future through market penetration. From these, we were able to discount the first 4 solutions. The first solution, going from a business to a consumer with a lifestyle focus, was discredited due to the high potential for competition with smart home, and additionally, the fact that there's no medical grade wearable technology, which would detract from your core competency of your company.
So do you expect us to create a medical grade wearable device? We're a telecom company here.
No, sorry, this is the strategy that we feel is not going to work. In our second strategy, we undertook an analysis as to the potential of going into the business to consumers of those with a chronic health condition. But we felt as though this was currently not reasonable, as going straight to the consumers to pressure the doctors would not be enough leverage for the doctors in order to uptake this system. Thirdly, we looked at going potentially straight into the public health sector. However, as there's a current lack of data, it's very high risk for the government to go into this e-health strategy for its entire public sector. Fourthly, we looked at the potential for e-learning solutions for education for children. However, due to the low profitability and low scalability, it was seen as unviable, as it does not meet with the current healthcare trends. This has left us with our strategy: validating the software through business-to-business corporate and adding on a telemed connected software. This will deliver synergies for the 3 key stakeholders involved, being the health insurance companies, the clinics themselves, and the companies. This will utilize the core competency of your business with the medical grade technology in order to provide savings for these stakeholders and profits for you.
This is a very good trade-off analysis to explain why you have chosen this strategy. However, have you taken into consideration in your equation when you make this choice, how much of the investment that you need to make into these strategies? And what is the ROI in ranking?
So we actually haven't gone into a financial analysis in the alternative strategies. So we haven't considered the financial costs or return. We focus solely on what the solution that we believe will drive the most value for your business into the future. So that's what we've considered in this solution. So let's take a close look now at how we're going to reposition eSmart Health's current offering to create and drive a more holistic e-health solution. So we understand that your current solution really is nothing more than a cloud storage tool for medical information. And that really doesn't utilize the full potential of the technology. So what we want to do here is reposition the technology to create a larger amount of value for a larger amount of stakeholders. So you already have this really powerful cloud tool. However, it still requires all of the information that it collects to be communicated to the doctor. So what we actually want to do here is bring the doctor to the cloud. And we're going to do that through telemedicine. So telemedicine is all about how the patient and the doctor interact virtually. And so through harnessing solutions like data analytics, it actually provides solutions such as real-time monitoring of health and real-time health alerts, as well as facilitating solutions such as virtual consultations between doctors and patients. So
consultation, medical consultation is very private. It carries a lot of privacy, data and
absolutely.
Individual, confidential information. So how is this technology in terms of security?
So we've gone into in quite a bit of depth further in our presentation as to strategies that we can implement that will ensure that all the information that's collected through our platform is encrypted, and that also harnesses the power of HKT Group's current data protection. So we understand that you're a market leader in Hong Kong in the services of encryption, of enterprise level encryption. So we're going to harness that in the way that we protect our clients' data through our eSmart Health solution as well.
This is a technical answer, but how are you going to comfort a consumer like me? Yeah,
so it's all about really harnessing the brand name power of HKT Group, which is a very familiar name in Hong Kong. It's a brand that consumers trust, and we believe if we can really strongly communicate that we're a part of HKT Group, that they'll trust that their data is safe. So we understand that telemedicine is a scalable, efficient and needs-based solution for the better delivery of e-healthcare. And we understand that a solution like this is really in great need in an area like Hong Kong. So we understand that the island's public and private healthcare services are coming under increasing strain and burden from the island's ageing population and the number of Hong Kong residents that are living living with chronic illnesses. So through our repositioning of eHealth Smart's product offering, what we're actually doing is helping to alleviate some of that burden. So we're reducing costs by driving efficiencies across the entire health value chain, and we're also reducing patient waiting time, all while ensuring that we're delivering the best possible healthcare that the residents of Hong Kong have come to expect. And we know that telemedicine is a technology...
You did mention that increased revenue. To whom?
So that's increased revenue to private clinicians.
How exactly do you do that? Number one, Hong Kong is very small.
Yes, absolutely.
So in terms of, I'm not sure about this, the telemed actually work, that's one. But for all the stakeholder, all the doctor, without a patient come in to have a consultation, they are not able to charge a premium.
Sure.
So how do you turn the whole thing?
Well, so we know that telemedicine is a technology that works, and this is the reason why doctors actually are able to increase their revenue. So telemedicine is actually 55% more efficient in terms of time than your traditional in-office consultation. So they're able to see more clients, more patients, which increases their revenue, obviously, and also allows for them to see more patients, but without compromising on patient care and patient outcomes. So it's a real tangible value add for doctors.
Even though I trust you that you can convince doctors, okay, how are you going to convince a consumer like myself? Because, I don't know whether you know about what is the percentage of e-commerce in Hong Kong doing shopping, okay? Because as the other panel judge are saying, Hong Kong is very small, okay? And I'm running a bank. I know that people still prefer to go to a bank and bank in a check rather than doing it via the ATM or doing internet banking. So, in the medical area, which is very intimate, which I do want my doctor to touch me and feel me to see how high my temperature is. How are you going to convince a consumer like myself that telemed work?
Well, firstly, we believe the suite of products you're offering is conducive to taking medical grade measurements at home from the comfort of your own bed. So as a consumer, you can imagine if you're feeling unwell, you may simply not want to get out of bed and you may just need that quick health recommendation from your doctor. So this is enabling a really seamless solution to do so. And we believe it's highly conducive with trends at the moment. Everyone just wants to jump online and diagnose themselves quickly and efficiently. They don't really want to be stuck in a large queue in waiting for a doctor, especially as Hong Kong is such a financial hub and there's many busy professionals here. And I know that they'd really appreciate not having to go and stick around in a really busy waiting room to see their doctor for that quick 5-minute consultation when they're not even quite sure that something is quite up with them. It might just be that they've received an alert about their health condition and would like a little bit of validation about that from their doctor. And this in no way is going to completely rule out those face-to-face consultations with the doctor, which we do believe are very important. Furthermore, there is broader capabilities in this, such as when the traveller is going overseas on a business trip, for example, to be able to touch base with their health provider is something we think they would greatly value there as well. And also the ability to draw in specialists from other geographic locations via this telecom service.
Can you explain to me, and I'm sorry, maybe you touched on this, but what's the revenue model? Who's paying us? How are we earning the $167 million NPI?
Yeah, we're just about to get into that. So we'll go into further detail on that in just a short moment. So in terms of the telemedicine also being more efficient, it's also a technology that's been validated. So telemedicine is actually an industry that's worth close to $30 billion globally. So through repositioning eHealth Smart's product offering, you can actually position yourself as a market leader in Hong Kong in the delivery of telemedicine. So it's a real tangible value add to your business moving forward. And as Maddie's just mentioned, there's a whole new range of product offerings that this repositioning actually unlocks for eSmart Health. So, and one of those is remote follow-ups. So as we understand, a large number of people who work in Hong Kong have to travel as part of their role. Now, obviously, when you have a chronic illness, this can be quite difficult because you require regular consultation with your doctor. However, this can all be alleviated through telemedicine. So you can be anywhere in the world for your job, and you can easily check in with your treating doctor back in Hong Kong virtually through telemedicine. And it also allows for the easier patient access to specialist care. So if you have a specialist illness, you can actually check in with a leader in that kind of preventative medicine wherever they happen to be globally. And it also puts the emphasis back onto a needs-based appointment scheduling model. So people only go to the doctor when they actually need to see a doctor physically. So that greatly reduces the patient waiting queue. And all of this is provided under the umbrella of a turnkey solution that can be easily scaled across different geographies. So the new eSmart Health product offering is a connected care solution that actually unlocks a whole lot of additional value to doctors by improving the level of care that they can offer to patients through the use of technology, and that can be easily scaled.
So how do you take this kind of solution and inject it into what is a very complicated healthcare market in a way that's not only profitable in the near future, but also provides scalable long-term growth? The answer lies in businesses. And now in deciding this, we first wanted to align this kind of solution with the people that would gain the most value out of it, which is where we've landed on chronically ill people. Now these chronically ill people are those people suffering from things like hypertension, obesity and diabetes. At the core of these illnesses, they require two things: constant monitoring of certain vital signs, things like their blood pressure levels and their glucose levels, and secondly, continual appointments with their doctor, quite often only to say that there's nothing wrong, no change, you're absolutely fine, you've wasted 15 minutes in coming to me, and it's only a 30-second appointment. So we can really see the value for this kind of solution for these types of patients. We then looked at the population of Hong Kong, and we identified that 26% of all Hong Kong employees are suffering from some form of chronic illness. But who's actually bearing the cost of these illnesses? The answer is, in fact, their employees, because it's very common for the employers to offer healthcare insurance plans for them. In fact, these employers are paying up to 50% of their claim costs as a pure result of their chronically ill workforce members. This is in turn, coupled with the rising cost of medical treatment, led 86% of Hong Kong businesses to identify the fact that the rising cost of their medical bill is a significant threat to their bottom line, and they are absolutely looking for solutions that can fix this. What this says to us is that there is a need for this type of solution in the Hong Kong market, one that not only allows businesses to mitigate the kinds of costs from these medical bills, but also focuses in on those chronically ill members of their workforce in a way that can help them in that service.
Sorry, this is very interesting statistics, because you said 26% of the Hong Kong people have chronically illness. Okay, have you compared this? I trust you. You know, 26% is the correct number, but how does this number compare to other countries in Asia Pacific?
Yes, absolutely. Those 26% of the working population, those aged between 25 and 64, we unfortunately don't have any statistics on those kinds of on the chronic illnesses in other countries in the Asia Pacific region, but this is a stat that we have pulled from a Mercer report, and so we are confident in its numbers. And now, of course, if we've identified that there's a need for solutions like this, so have the big businesses. In fact, in the year 2015, there was an increase of 14% to a massive 55% of businesses in the Hong Kong region investing some form in wellness programs for their employees. Now, it's important to distinguish what these types of programs are. Firstly, you could go with lifestyle programs, things that are focusing on getting their employees to eat healthily and also increase their fitness. The second one, and the more effective, is disease management programs. Now, disease management programs focus in on the chronically ill members of the workforce and can see returns of investment up to 380%. In fact, the company Johnson & Johnson was well aware of this and started doing this 10 years ago. To date, they have saved $200 million through their disease management program. Now, I saw you nod. You have done this before. You've gone B2B, but you did so in 2012 through a lifestyle management program, entering with 1/5 of your product offering, the Fitbit. The pedometer. What this in turn, it did improve the health of the employees, but the businesses didn't see a need and they weren't willing to invest into this kind of service. In 2016, this entry is focused heavily on the disease management aspects of your program, capitalising on the fact that you've got 5 devices capable of measuring the types of information these employees need to be monitoring and providing real returns for both the company that you're working with and yourself. So what does this actually look like, and how do you get money out of it, as you asked, Chris? The first answer is to work with client relationship managers to inject this kind of solution into the businesses that we're looking at, corporates with over 2,000 employees to begin with. This kind of sell will focus on the value proposition to them, which is threefold. Firstly, how they can decrease their health costs. Secondly, how they can improve the performance and also the value potential. Improve the productivity and the performance of the employees through the benefits in their health, and also help build a talent acquisition and retention program focusing on the health.
But I mean, these are all good benefits you can present to them, but what is the convincer, the thing that will get them to take it on? Because there's a big leap of faith here that they're going to get those reductions in costs.
Yes, absolutely. So this is also like tying into the third part, where you can actually lay the groundwork for a conversation with their health insurance companies to lower the premiums, thereby ensuring that they are indeed paying less for the health insurance costs. The reason that conversation can begin is because there is a strong emphasis on health insurance companies trying to de-risk their portfolio, because more people are getting sick and it's costing more. So this type of preventive healthcare solution can allow that company to access that, thereby passing on the savings to their insurance.
And we'll just reiterate that 380% ROI that has been proven in the Johnson & Johnson case study and the report we referred to earlier as well.
And now the final part, the revenue for eSmart Health. It's based on a 900 Hong Kong dollars per employee per year. And this is how we're driving that $169 million of value, by the year 2020. We have also looked into the experience and the burdens that could possibly be placed on the employees. And I'd like to just...
I'm sorry, just to go back to the $900. The average healthcare insurance policy is how much per year per employee?
We have the US statistics, which is the average contribution from the employee is around $3,000 per person. The company is paying around $12,000 US.
In Hong Kong, it's 12,000 US to the employer, you're saying?
This is the US statistics.
Do you have any sense of what it is in Hong Kong?
Unfortunately, we did not look specifically into the Hong Kong costs. So back to the consumer, the employee journey. You highlighted the emphasis there on privacy and confidentiality. We've designed this system with that in mind. So we've got in place, in terms of the corporate sphere that the employer would actually be looking at, it would be desensitized, de-identified information. So you'd be able to understand the general health of your organisation without knowing exactly which employee it is that is suffering from X condition or what their treatment plan is, because through the telemedicine platform, that employee is connected directly to the patient, to the doctor, and the employer is never involved in that process. Overall, we believe that any kinds of burdens that could be placed on the employees will more than be significantly made up in the added health benefits that they are receiving, and the fact that if they are a high-risk employee, they then don't develop the chronic illness such as diabetes or obesity. So we promised you a solution that also offers scalable growth. How does this work? Well, we've now created a network of employees being sent to these healthcare professionals that have been identified through the healthcare plans. These doctors are now identifying the value and the potential savings that they can make by using this kind of platform for these employee patients. As a doctor, you are always looking for ways that you can improve the medical care that you can offer to your patients, and part of that is wanting to see more patients. Once they realise the benefits of this, they'll then start applying this to patients outside of this ecosystem that we've created, which they believe will work for them. So that's first of all starting with the chronically ill, and then stretching out to patients that could be using the telemedicine service as well. And this is how we set up.
Sorry, you mentioned about the doctors' vested interest because shorter consultation time, right? They can save time. Have you taken into consideration when you increase the convenience of the consumer going to see a doctor? Will the frequency of going to see a doctor also increase because it's so easy, right? So if I'm a little bit dizzy, I call up the doctor, and I'm coughing, I call up a doctor. Versus today, if I take a 50-minute trip, I probably second thought about that.
Absolutely, and this is where the beauty of what you're doing with your medical grade equipment at home is going to tie into it. So if you're feeling a bit unwell, you might think you have symptoms, but then you might use your eSmart Health care tools, and you'll see that there's no substantial rise or alarming rise in your health.
So you make an assumption that consumer will know what to buy at home. So you're asking them to invest quite a lot, right? So this is not saving for the whole community.
This is essentially, we're opening it first, and this is why we're targeting through businesses for the employees that are suffering from chronic health conditions. These types of people are well aware of the conditions that they have and the sorts of signs that they should be looking for. What we're essentially doing is making it easier for them and how they're normally talking to their doctor to save them time. In terms of having the efficiency, the convenience of having your doctor on call at hand, this isn't the type of model that we're trying to promote, because the doctor would still have a regular schedule to adhere to, and they're not at the beck and call of every one of their patients.
And just finally, the doctor does have that cloud-based access to the health record, so they could push through an email to say everything's looking fine, or suggest an in-person consultation if things look dangerously high.
So when you break down, well, maybe you're going to talk about it next year. When you break down your revenue, how much of it's coming from the subscription package that you talked about earlier versus the insurance companies?
So the insurance companies initially don't actually put forward any investment. So the sole revenue driver is actually the corporation paying a subscription per employee per year. So all of the revenue is driven by corporates. And happy to go into more detail in the finances now if you'd like. So we've made a number of assumptions here, and the first is the first assumption is that we've just averaged out the number of employees per organisation at 2,000. We're going to scale that by 2017, with a target to achieve 5 corporate clients, and that scales up by the end of 2020 to 60 corporate clients. And in terms of the costs, let's bring up some of the supporting slides here now. So we've a number of expense assumptions as well. So in terms of actually building the platform, we've estimated approximately 3 to 4 million Hong Kong dollars with a lead time of approximately 6 months to develop that. And that's got ongoing costs associated with the salaries of the sales staff, the technical support staff, and the customer relationship managers as well. So you can see some of the cost breakdowns there as well. And then we've taken this through quite a robust situation analysis, which takes in a number of different variables. And then we've actually simulated that 1,000 times as well. So here you can see graphically some of the revenues and the assumptions that have driven these revenues. So that brings us by the end of 2020 to generating approximately $169 million of MPV over that period.
Sorry, maybe I missed that. So this assume how many percent of uptake and adoption?
Yeah, so we're initially by the end of 2017 looking to partner with 5 corporate clients and then scaling that up with a target of 60 by the end of 2020.
So, what's the future?
Well, the 2 key outcomes for this strategy at the moment is to create that $169 million of value, but it also provides you with a way to inject the rest of HKT's telecommunication services into these corporate clients, hospitals, and also clinics, which is something that you've done with success with your business-to-consumer side already. We'll now pass to Nathan to discuss the future.
So, we've given you the strategy that's enabled market entry, and you've also achieved your 20% return on investment. But what's the future now? The health industry is constantly changing. We see it moving from this preventative healthcare of chronic conditions and moving into everyday e-health and precision medicine. Products are constantly being developed every single day, and the e-health wearable market is expected to rise at a 65% compound annual growth rate to $41 billion by 2020. Now, this is a lucrative market right now, but there's no medical grade wearable technology as yet on the market. So it would detract from your company to go into this now. Instead, we suggest that you wait until this sort of technology comes out, and at that point, introduce it into the system, using precision medicine in order to develop a highly systematic and integrated technology with wearable sensors. These are some, up on the screen here, are some of the strategies that we feel as though your company needs to look into in order to be beneficial in the precision health medicine industry, which is expected to rise from $40 billion today to $88 billion in 2020.
This has been our strategy, Care to Scale. We've created a scalable model that addresses the pertinent needs of the public and private health sector, and we've proposed a growing revenue model to receive revenues of this solution. Finally, we've looked to transform your brands from chronic and aged care to everyday e-health into the future to ensure you're at the forefront of emerging e-health trends. Thank you for your time, and we welcome any further questions.
So what is your assessment of the barrier of entry?
Apologies, however, we will not have a question session after presentation, as we are within the 1 minute of uninterrupted session. So thank you very much, Team 3.